The New York Times has published a mammoth special report describing Russia's alleged interference in the 2016 US presidential election. Out of the 10,000 words in the article, the word alleged is used only twice, with the story instead apparently portraying many unproven accusations as facts. Jacqueline Vuga delved into the report.
A way to unravel the Russia story so far. The New York Times special report into the saga looks impressive. Masses of subsections, fancy photoshopping, and multiple timelines. And they all lead back to a Kremlin conspiracy to get its man in the White House.
As Mr. Trump emerged in spring 2016 as the improbable favorite for the Republican nomination, the Russian operation accelerated on three fronts: the hacking and leaking of Democratic documents, massive fraud on Facebook and Twitter, and outreach to Trump campaign associates.
It's 2016, and anonymous banners hung from a bridge are the suspected work of Moscow. The link? Russian bots sharing images online. This was Russia's way of bragging to the world that Donald Trump was their man. But what seems strange here is that's a sincere conclusion. As the unraveling continues, the line blurs between accusations and hard fact. Here we have the indictments of those quizzed in the Mueller investigation.
That same day in Moscow, March the 15th, a veteran hacker named Ivan Yermakov, a Russian military intelligence officer working for a secret outfit called Unit 26165, began probing the computer network of the Democratic National Committee. Hitting 9 states in 3 weeks in summer 2014, Anna Bogachova and Alexandra Krylova were supposed to gather intelligence to help them mimic Americans on Facebook and Twitter.
The evidence is all there: names, dates, and motives. Again, all from indictments. Now, I'm sure the New York Times isn't willing to accept Mueller's word as gospel, but things seem a little too dramatic, perhaps even for President Putin.
Putin is angry. The Russian leader thought the United States and Hillary Clinton had sought to undermine his presidency.
And there are plenty more where that came from. Somehow I doubt the Russian president handed over an "I hate Hillary" diary to the New York Times. But the bombshell DNC hack, thanks again to those indictments, allow the special report to point fingers.
Today, there is no doubt who hacked the DNC and the Clinton campaign. A detailed indictment of 12 officers of Russia's military intelligence agency, filed in July by Mr. Mueller, documents their every move.
Let's put aside the fact that the information exposed real issues in the Democratic Party, not ones dreamt up or spun by trolls. Something else worth noting, but the report doesn't, is only a company called CrowdStrike, hired by the DNC, had access to their servers. The FBI and Mueller are at the mercy of their findings because those servers were wiped clean. Why? Good question. There is page after page of this stuff. Here's some of the quick highlights. Putin may have won Trump the election, but who knows? That meeting with Trump Jr. and a Russian lawyer was to get rid of anti-Russia sanctions, but was that all? Trump is correct when he tweets in all caps that no collusion proof has been found, but we just wrote a whole article about it. I think you get the picture. In all fairness, the New York Times does have an argument as to why there is so little public information to back them up. It's just not been made public.
Mr. Mueller and his prosecutors only rarely go public with the evidence that they've been steadily gathering in secret interviews and closed-door sessions of a grand jury.
As you build a picture in this Russia riddle, it seems unnamed sources have shaped it almost entirely. So the takeaway from this? 2 years ago, Donald Trump won the U.S. election, and there are plenty of accusations that Russia is responsible.
Well, as always, lots of reaction to such stories. We heard from independent journalist and former correspondent for the Wall Street Journal, Joe Lauria. He says the article fails to meet basic journalistic standards.
One of the foundations of reporting Journalism 101 is there are two sides to every story, and that an indictment or an accusation, even from government, is only that, an accusation and an indictment, and it needs to be proven in a court of law. And you always use the word alleged when discussing whatever the government alleges that someone else has done. If that's proven in the court of law, then it's a conviction. But until that happens, it is not fact, it is not proven, it is not the truth, it is an allegation. And that's all we've got from the Mueller indictments are allegations. You have to report the indictment, obviously, but that doesn't mean that it's true. And yes, that is what they've done. Their ethics here are abominable because they are taking, and they're not the only ones, CNN, they're all doing this, they're taking this as a fact when it's only an accusation. I think they realize they're in trouble and their reputation is at stake, so they have to stick to this. They're not going to reverse themselves and begin to say, well, we really got some of this wrong. That would destroy their reputation, their credibility, and a journalist lives on their reputation and credibility. Of course, the public suffers